Hello, my name is Albert Aware, and this is Broken Heart Show. Today we are shooting from Sonat Court Hotel in East London. Today with me on the show is Ghana's sexiest actor. Whether you like it or not, he's a sexiest actor. One answer, you can go to his house and kill him. In fact, I'm not the one saying it, but he is the sexiest actor. I want to introduce to you Prince David Osei.
Hi, bro.
Yeah, welcome on the show. I'm happy to have you on the show. Like we normally do on this show, we try to inform, educate, and entertain. Today we are talking about Broken Heart, and then Prince is going to walk us through his experience. Prince. So like we do, our sign-on question is, have you ever been broken-hearted, and if yes, share your experience?
Okay. Yes, I have. That was way back in my teenage days. There was this girl that I liked, and I felt we liked each other. Yeah, she was my sister's friend, and growing up, I was a bit naive, to put it that, because I wasn't really exposed to sexual stuff. So I had this girl, and I thought we were dating. I think was she older than me, or were age mates? Mm-hmm. And I noticed she was dealing with the big boys by then, because we're all teenagers. And what happened was, one of the vows days, we agreed we were both going to go out. By then it was Frankie's. Frankie's really used to, pop up then, yeah, Frankie's, Papa, yeah. So we agreed, and I had saved money for that event. So, I knew I was going to take her out. I had to help mom at the shop and make more money, steal some, just to impress this girl. So from like 4 p.m., I called her. She told me she was at the salon and she was having her hair braids, and subsequently she was going to get back, so I was waiting. Funny enough, my sister was away. My big sister was away, Sally. So we were all in the house, and she was like, "Oh, Nana, you're going to have fun today," and blah. So everybody was talking about our date, and it was a special one because it was Val's Day. Then 6 o'clock, I called her, and she told me she was taking a shower. So I said, okay, cool. But then we were living at Kokomlemle, so I'm like, okay, from Kokomlemle to Osei is not far. I mean, dropping then, we're probably going to pay like 5 cedis or something. So we're waiting. I had dressed up, and I was with my sister. We're waiting for this girl. 7, I called her. She didn't pick. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's on her way. She knows she's late. 8, she didn't pick. Then my sister started teasing me that I think she also wanted her taking a girlfriend somewhere. Her name was Kiki. So 9, she wasn't picking my calls. 10, the phone was off.
Wow.
It was so depressing. I'm like, what's going on? So I called the big sis. Then she said, oh, Kiki is not at home.
Huh?
Yes. She said, Kiki is not at home. Then I'm like, what's going on? So we thought, okay, maybe she was coming to our house or something. 11, 12. Then I became so sad. So my sister started telling me, I told you this girl, she's high time girl. She has a lot of boys and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, maybe something happened. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I couldn't sleep. I was still awake trying to see if she would even send a text to tell me this will happen, whatever. Nothing happened. So we slept. The next morning, 8 a.m., I called her, she picked up. I said, what happened last night? She said, I will explain, I'm sorry, my uncle came from the US and blah, 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 and I ended the call because I knew she was lying. So my sister told me she went out with some big men, some people saw them, blah, blah, blah. So that was it.
At the time, what was your age?
I think I was 19 or 18, 18 going to 19. Yeah.
Looking at your personality and your demeanor, the way you carry yourself and the way you do your things, at 19, if I'm right, I don't see you to be a timid person.
No, I wasn't timid, but when it comes to girls, I was shy. I didn't warm up to girls at a very early age.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was when I got to Legon. Even at Legon, I was still shy of girls, but they didn't know. When they see me approaching, they think I'm some big boy, but I'm shy. I didn't even know how to woo girls, talk to girls or whatever. I can talk about every other thing, but when it comes to I like you, I couldn't say it. I couldn't say so much that when I was in Legon, I was friends with Miss Ghana, Miss Malika. I'll always work with them. but nothing happens. I don't know if you understand. I'm always working with the girls. You see me with fine girls, but nothing was going on because I couldn't tell them, and at the point we become like friends. So yeah, nobody can tell anybody anything.
It's becoming the normal thing in Ghana. I just want to know, after that experience, did you ever go into any other relationship with an exit plan in mind?
No. Even at that time, it wasn't like, it wasn't like I was in a relationship. You see that thing whereby, okay, you know a girl, she's your sister's friend, and you guys are like family friends. Okay. So you guys are fond of each other. You go to their house, they come to your house, and you guys just connected. I didn't open my mouth to tell her I liked her, but we started feeling stuff for each other.
The old age papa and mommy kind of.
Yeah, kind of. You don't talk, but we cuddle each other. The slightest opportunity we get, want to steal a kiss. That was how it was. So I thought we had that understanding.
But funny enough, from what you just narrated, you prepared. You went to the extent of helping mommy just to
just to make sure I made that day. To make sure I was okay.
It means that in as much as it wasn't something so strong, it was something you were warming up into.
No, we had already, because prior to the outing, we had, kids. Then we were fond of each other. When she closed back from, but then she used to attend O'Reilly Secondary School. When she closes from school, she comes to the house. Like, she'll probably leave my house like 9 p.m. With a school uniform, she'll come to our house. She'll help mommy out. So, it was just that we liked each other, and she made me believe, I was the only one she had that kind of relationship with. Yeah, and aside that, this same girl made me walk from Jowulu to Newtown. I walked. Because what happened was initially...
From
Jowulu, taxi rank to Newtown, to Kokomembe. Because what happened was, when it all started, I was trying to impress her. So I went to her house one day, and she said she wanted ice cream. By then, Fan Ice was a big deal, the big one. So I think I wasn't really having much. I wasn't having much of me, but when she said she wanted ice cream, I said, okay, let's go into the shop. So we got into the shop. I thought she was going to buy the normal Fan Yogo. She bought the big one. So she bought the big one, and she bought some biscuits. So when I got to the time to pay, I noticed I was having just close to the exact amount. And, her hands were all over my shoulders. I didn't know what to do, so I paid. When I paid, I noticed I didn't have any money on me. The what was left was coins, and he wasn't going to take me home. So 30 pesos or something back then. So I walked there to her house. She ate some of the ice cream. She was going to give me some. I said I was okay. She put the rest in the fridge, and it was time for me to go because it was getting late. It was like 6 p.m. So her house to the bus stop isn't far. So we walked to the bus stop, and she bid me goodbye. And I said, let me walk in, because she wanted to see me pick a taxi, and I wasn't having the money. So she bid me goodbye. I said, okay, bye-bye. And then she said, there's a taxi ticket. I said, don't worry, let me walk you back home. She said, Adia, sir, don't worry. You can pick a taxi. I said, let me walk you back home. So I finally walked there back to the middle of the street. Then she said, she needs to. I said, no, go. I want to see you go home. I'm okay. So she was still adamant. So we split the distance. Okay, half. Okay, I'm going to walk to the bus stop. You walk home. By the time I get to the bus stop, you'll be home. So that's what happened. And when I got to the bus stop, I noticed she hadn't gone home. She was still
hanging around,
looking at me pick the taxi. So when I saw that, as a smart guy, I just sat in the taxi. So when I sat in the taxi, it moved from the bus stop to City Theater. Nadia's father said City Theater then. As soon as we got to City, I said, I've forgotten something. So the taxi driver said, no, I need to get down. I forgot something, I need to get down. So I got down. Then I watched the taxi go, watched my bag. Then I started walking. I walked across Jowulu to Pig Farm. When I got to Newtown, I noticed it was getting late. And normally these boys, when they see you walking around that late, they want to take stuff from me. So I took off my shirt, my singlet, and I was, behaving like I was in the area.
You are one of them.
Yes. Before I go to Kokomembe, I will never forget that experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of this show. You get to share an experience of you that people do not know about.
Yeah, it was crazy.
What's that one thing that you think Ghanaians do not know about Prince David Osei?
That I'm very prayerful and I'm spiritually inclined 24/7.
You know, I was shocked when I was doing a research about you and I realized you go to Royal House Chapel, and I decided to call one or two of the industry guys and ask, how about Prince David Osei? What's his spiritual life like? What's his faith life like? And for the things that I heard, I'm like, okay, can he really relate to broken heart? Because people tend to use spirituality to cover the reality. But I'm glad you're sharing some part of you that, to me, as an industry person, I've never heard, and I'm just happy about it. But then, let me ask, that's for a relationship. When it comes to your career as an actor, as a businessman, have you ever been broken-hearted?
You can get broken hearted in many ways, not necessarily in a relationship. You can go into a business deal with someone you trust, someone you feel, they've got your back, and, things go bad and everybody just walk away. I mean, it's happened severally. I mean, even in the industry, when I joined the industry somewhere around 2007, 2005, I noticed some of the people that I came to meet that I felt like, were one, and I gave them my confidence. We were doing stuff together. We were all over the place together. And one time I was around. It wasn't like I was far away. I was around. We were all filming, and in one of the rooms, they were talking about me. And this guy in question is a guy I pushed for to get a role in a movie. And it was that role that made him, I had to turn that role down for him, as a matter of fact, because I was already out there and he was coming. And I felt like, oh, God has been good to me. So why wouldn't I? So when I heard them talking about me in that room, I didn't get it. I was going to go into the room and I just heard them talk. So I was okay, let me stop. And the kind of things the senior men in the industry were telling him, and I was so I couldn't help it. Instantly, I was tearing up. So I just couldn't pretend. I'm like, whoa. So it was Majid who saw me. And Majid was like, Rugby, what's going on? Why are you crying? I couldn't help it. The more I opened my mouth to want to tell him, I started crying. I said no. So it was there. I didn't tell him exactly what happened. But the guy in question, because we used to do everything together. When we were leaving and going home, he was the one driving. I told him what happened. I said, you don't do this, because I've got your back. You don't listen to people, and if people try to bring confusion between us and say stuff that are not true, you should know better. So I told him, and he was like, oh, it's not like. I said, no. When somebody trusts you and have confidence in you, you defend them. When people are saying stuff that are not true, you know it's not true, and they're advising you against, all you do is you say, oh no, it's not like that. So at that moment, I felt broken hearted. I felt like, oh wow, who do you even trust in this industry, in this game here? Who do you trust? So since that time, I decided, no, it wasn't healthy being friends with everybody. I needed to just be in my lane and, maintain. If I see you, hi, but I just be in my corner.
So you see, most times we all get broken-hearted. It's amazing that people take us for granted for the good things we want to do for them. But please, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we continue.
Even my wife today, it was my roommates who made me go chase my wife. They sacked me out of the room.
Welcome back on the show. With me on the show, like I said earlier, is Prince David Osei. Prince David Osei is Ghana's sexiest actor. And they mean I can. And if you don't understand, you can come and beat both of us here. So we need to be are you shooting it there? Prince, before we went on the break, you were talking about how hurtful it is when you have people's back and then they turn and then hit you right in your face. Sometimes they don't even hit you from behind. They just hit you right from the face. But you've withstood the pain, the hurt, the hassle till today. What's your secret?
My secret is mainly not to trust in man, but to trust in God. Because I believe we've all learned our lesson through, experiences we've had dealing with human beings. So my philosophy is trust in God and forget about human beings. Because vain is the help of man. If you're going to help me, God needs to touch your heart. The Bible says God stirs the heart of the king. If God doesn't stir the heart of the person towards you, everything you do is useless. So I'll prefer to pray for God's favor and acceptance than to trust in any man to help me or whatever. So mainly my philosophy is trust in God always, pray always for favor and acceptance, so that it won't be man. The glory will not be unto any man, because if somebody tells me, okay, Prince, I'm going to give you a lead role for you to blow tomorrow. Let's say the person sleeps and he doesn't wake up. What happens to me? Yeah, or somebody say, I'm going to give you a check of $100,000. Come to my office tomorrow. He said it. And the person dies within the next 40 minutes. Yeah, my life still goes on. So I'd rather prefer to put my trust in God and pray for favor and acceptance to touch the heart of people, to be a blessing unto me, than to trust any man or put my hope on any person, be it a producer or a TV station or whatever.
So this is real life experience you are sharing today. I want to know, what would you have done differently compared to your teen age in that atmosphere of, I don't want to call it a relationship because you didn't call it a relationship, but with that friendship with that lady, what would you have done differently today with the kind of maturity you've gained? What would you have done differently? And what would be your advice to any young teen watching you today?
To be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy my teenage days, because that's what happened. I was always in church. Monday I'm in church, Tuesday I'm in church, Wednesday I'm in church, Thursday I'm in church for choirs all night, instrumentalists all night, pillars for Christ all night, prayer meetings. I was always in church until I got to Legon.
Okay.
So I didn't do, even though I gave a different version on the screen, I didn't do the boy girlfriend thing. If not for the fact that that lady was my sister's friend, there was no way I could have gotten close to her to even have any sort of relationship or, whatever we had. So I was always going to church, from church to the house, my books, church. So I wasn't that kind of kid who was all over the place, apart from maybe school, intercore, and I wasn't really, I don't know how to put it, because some of my cousins that were like younger age were having sex like at the age of 16. They were bringing girls at home.
Okay.
I wasn't that type. I was the type that would go to some corner, take my book. But then it was this book, I've forgotten the name. It has it's an English, it's got synonyms, antonyms, something, it's blue.
I think I had one in that.
Yes, blue cover with white. So I was always, learning, reading, having my pamphlets and Akiola series, whatever. I was always learning church. I wasn't going out. Because I had this philosophy that where I'm coming from, I needed to be cool, humble, and learn. Because I believed it was my academics that was going to make a difference in my life. Because the background I'm coming from, we are not rich. And the only way I can get out there is to be knowledgeable too. So I was always learning, whilst my cousins and other people were misbehaving. Sometimes they would laugh at me, they call me names. I was learning, and all you can hear coming out of my room is maybe tongues. I'm praying, speaking in tongues. So a lot of people thought I was a pastor. So it was when I got to Legon that I started, boys started giving me pressure. Even my wife today, it was my roommates who made me go chase my wife. They sacked me out of the room. They go home next. They said if I don't go and sleep with her, I wasn't going to sleep in the room. Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. Yes.
Let me just ask. So, with everything you've talked about, at what age did you have sex?
I think at the age of 24.
That's when you broke your virginity. At what age did you marry?
Marriage is different. Okay. I got engaged.
All right.
Then I got married just a few years ago in the US, 2 to 3 years ago in the US. So I don't know if you're talking about
But all along, you were engaged to her?
Yeah, I was engaged to her from 2010.
Okay.
I was engaged to her 2010. So let's say I got engaged 26 going to 27. That's when I got engaged. And we had our first son 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all along it's been with her. After that first experience,
it's been with her.
I think today you are revealing a lot of things that people
yeah. So when I hear people talk, I laugh.
Yes, and as a Christian, I'm beginning to. It's not as if I'm beginning. I do understand your core principles and value to the Christian world, and that's how come most of the things people did you never wanted to do. It's not because you have your own will to do it anyway, but you decided not to do it. By that notion in mind, what do you stand for? Having sex before marriage, abstinence, or using condom?
See, we are all different individuals. I wouldn't judge anyone who had sex before marriage or anyone who abstained. We are different. We're different people. God created us in His own image and likeness, but when it comes to destinies, we are different. Some people get rich at the age of 21. Some people get rich at the age of 40. Some people get rich and get famous at a very early age and die very early. Some people too who work so hard, they probably get rich and famous at the age of 60 and they live to 80. So individual difference. Everybody should be allowed to do whatever makes them happy. If you feel having sex before marriage is cool and you're doing it with your partner, I don't have a problem. What I hate for people to do is to live in denial when you lie to yourself. You don't have to live in denial to please people. You don't have to live your life so that you give an impression of who you are not. Just be who you are. I mean, people will love you regardless or accept you for who you are. Just be real, because if you are having sex before marriage and you're probably using condom, that means you're protecting yourself. Because you probably won't know what your partner is also doing out there.
Yes.
So I think it's just sensible. If you want to have an affair, you're not married, use your condom.
I don't know, but I think I'm going to push you to this. You are very spiritual. The Bible says that we are the righteousness of Christ, because when Christ died, He died with us, so we became the righteousness of Christ. If today your son, who is about 5 years old, is 19, 20 years old, would you advise him to indulge into a sexual relationship?
Okay, you see, this is where wisdom comes to play. There's certain advice you give to people, regardless of how important they see you, how they respect you. To a large extent, people will do what they will do. Now, if they can't help it, they hide it from you. My son is 8 years. Yeah, he's 8 years now. We talk about sex. When he goes to school, I ask him, because in America, a lot of things goes on. So I wouldn't want a situation whereby my son will be taken to the other side. Okay. So I have to tell him a male and a female. He started asking me, he said, how did mommy got pregnant? How did mommy give birth to Gabriel? How did the baby get into mommy's tummy? He started asking me from the age of 5. So I had to tell him what happens, a male and a female, mommy and daddy, blah, blah. I felt it's something we have to talk about because if I tell my son, Nana, don't have sex, it's for adults, blah, 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 and he gets to 18 years with his friends, schools, peer pressure, blah, 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 it's only God who can help him.
Yeah.
I can give him the advice, but he can decide not to do it. And when he comes home, he will pretend he's not doing it.
Yeah.
So I'll be real with him, tell him this is what you do, this is what happens when you do this, this is what happens when you do this. The choice is yours. You have to think that you want to do this, you might, contract STDs and blah, blah, blah. You might get somebody pregnant, your future will be doomed. So you want to go to school, become somebody great in future. You say all of those stuff, but it depends on the individual. If they want to do it, they'll do it. That is why a lot of homes are broken now because parents don't really get real with their words. Get real with them. And they tell you stuff when you get real with them. So then there's no barrier, there's no shyness. If somebody heckles him or harasses him in school or harasses her in school, she come and tell daddy or mommy. Because it's something you guys talk about.
Yeah.
It's not new to them, but when you lie to them and try to be the discipline, okay, somebody will be harassing them. They can't tell you because you frown against that.
Yeah.
So they'll keep it to themselves and things will be going bad. So the day you find out maybe they're pregnant or they're indulging in other sexual, activities. So I feel, to me, I'll just tell my son, this is what it is. But no, you're not, it's not right for you to do this now. These are the consequences. So I prefer you go that way. If it's a sound child, he will listen. But that does not undermine the fact that you probably might want to try. People are curious, people want to find out stuff. So mainly, you can only advise them and teach them the way, leave the rest to God.
Okay. In today's world, internet is all over the place. So almost everyone is privy to a lot of stuff. Things that in our days we weren't used to, we weren't privy to. We see on social media, on the news, we see people taking their lives out of broken heart. Someone in the uni, someone even in SS taking their life out of broken heart. What advice would you give to such people?
Can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, my question is, now when you go on the net, when you go on, even on the news, you hear this person tried committing suicide just because he's been broken-hearted or she's been broken-hearted. What advice would you give to such people?
Now I'll go back to trusting human beings. In as much as we are all human beings, we are infallible. We are bound to make mistakes. So I don't see why I will live my life or trusting so much in someone. These days I don't get shocked, maybe because of experience. I don't get shocked by anything anybody does.
Okay.
No. Funny enough, when I'm dealing with people, I'm always expecting a shocker, like for somebody to do something out of the norm. And when you do that, probably so I said it. So, for you to be in a love relationship, a young teenager, a young girl, always know that there's an end to that relationship someday. If it's not leading to marriage, there will always be an end.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Sure.
Because in as much as you are pretty, everybody likes you, your boyfriend or whatever might be handsome or might be rich, or for some funny reason, people might like him for some other reasons. So the same way people like you, the same way people will like him. So then it depends on the two of you to have an understanding. Even married people, you can be married and somebody will still be chasing after your wife. And even you, the guy, they see you wearing a ring and they still admire you. So it's all about self-discipline. I don't see why you should kill yourself, waste your precious life for another human being. You die and the person will still be alive and the person will still be chasing other girls, having fun. I don't see the reason why you want to die for someone. It doesn't make sense.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
We thank you for the insightful message you've given us. Ghana's sexiest actor. He said it all. He's been very precise. He's been very simple. He's been very delightful to talk to. He says, do not live with hate in your heart. Let love lead. Appreciate people for who they are. And then everything you need from them, go to them, walk to them. Don't be too pompous as a person. Just go to them, relate, and then before you know, they are ready. They are open arms to talk to you and then give you what you need. All too soon, the show has come to an end. This has been yours truly, Albert Bonnie Aware, and this is Broken Heart.